This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well here on this Friday, the 5th day of September 2025, as football season has officially begun for those that care about such things. And we have a PLE coming up in 15 days, WrestlePalooza. And at the forefront of all of our minds, the worst kept secret in pro wrestling history, AJ Lee set to return to WWE television for the first time in 10 years or more here tonight in Chicago. Which, if it doesn't happen, I mean, you talk about a fumble on WWE's part. It'd be one of the biggest fumbles in pro wrestling modern history when it comes to what fans expect and what should just happen. Throw away the surprise element. That's out the window. I know we all love a good surprise, but the idea that AJ Lee doesn't appear tonight is almost inconceivable. I don't want to hear about Rhea Ripley. I don't want to hear about Nikki Bella. I don't want to hear about any other possible substitution other than AJ Lee. She's at the forefront of everyone's mind. The reaction is going to be deafening. I'm insanely excited for this, as many of you are as well. She was ahead of her time in the Divas era. She belongs in this era, and we'll see how long she lasts in this particular environment. And given her age, she's a little older now, but I have no doubt on the microphone she's going to thrill us like she has in the past. She has a cadence to her promos, a way of delivering her message. She has an ability to just captivate you, and I am extremely excited to see what she has to say and hear the reaction. I mean, it's going to be deafening. I can't wait. Maybe one of the biggest reactions of all time for a female star ever. I think it's going to be that insane. And if they don't open with this, it's much like the CM Punk return to pro wrestling in AEW several years back. If they don't open with this, the crowd is going to hijack the show. I mean, that's all they're going to want to see. Just get it out of the way right up front. CM Punk comes out. People are chanting for AJ Lee, AJ Lee, AJ Lee. Maybe Becky comes out and then set the stage just as they did on Monday Night Raw. AJ Lee comes out. Crowd goes crazy. Maybe knocks Becky Lynch from the ring, and then has some words for Becky, coming out and for her first time in a decade. Or Becky doesn't have to be there. You could have it either way, really. So I'm looking forward to it. And if it doesn't happen, I mean, you want to turn any babyface heel right now? I don't care if your name's even Rhea Ripley. You will turn anyone heel if it's not AJ Lee. There's no more surefire way to turn even the hottest babyface right now in the company heel than to have them debut or return or come out in the spot that is none other than AJ Lee's. So should be a fun night in Chicago. Internet's going to blow up. And sure, I would have loved this to be a surprise in the Rumble or when we didn't see it coming, but this doesn't even matter anymore. It's going to be a fun night. Now, in celebration of AJ Lee's return, again, it hasn't happened, but it better. We have a sale going on right now for the next several days. I think the next 3-4 days, and then it ends. 25% off any membership on our Patreon side of things, which means 25% off of an entire year's membership, or you can do a 25% off your first month. Any tier, any membership for the next few days. Just type in the code AJ Lee, no spaces, just AJLEE at checkout and get yourself 25% off, again, any membership that we offer at all. So thank you guys for that. And it's a good time to do it as things heat up in wrestling, as we get moving into WrestlePalooza and we start to heat things up towards, believe it or not, Survivor Series in a couple of months. That is the next massive landing point in WWE PLE, the lineup. Now, I know we have one in October. It might be one at Crown Jewel or something. I'll have to see what the October one is. But certainly, with ESPN and WWE's relationship going live on September 20th, that is where everyone's focus is. And hey, we may even get a Brock Lesnar return tonight. It may overshadow, I hope it doesn't, but it could overshadow AJ Lee's return a bit. But if you're going to have Brock Lesnar return, you have him do it at the end of the show, you have AJ Lee at the beginning of the show to separate them as much as possible in the show, is if that's the case. So a massive SmackDown here tonight in Chicago. If you're going, I'd love to hear your in-person thoughts. You have to be jacked for this. Who isn't? Even if Brock doesn't show up, it's AJ's night, man. It's AJ's night, and I'm excited because we've been all thinking about this and wondering if she's ever going to come back. And if they don't, in this small chance they don't, and I'd give it like a less than 1%, it would be one of the biggest fumbles in WWE history. There's no substitution. Nobody can rise from the grave that would substitute for what we expect to be an AJ Lee return tonight. All right, well, with all of that, we have a lot to get to today, although emails are sparse today, and that's okay because I'm still trying to do other things here, and I'm still trying to create more video on that side of things and try to create YouTube, and I try to do TikTok and trying to pull out all the quote unquote spare time I have, which of course is zero. So hey, I'm also trying to do a live show every week, which I may end up doing on Sundays, and that will be exclusive for patrons only. So if you are on Patreon, I'm probably going to be starting a live show, the Weekend Review, every single Sunday for patrons only. So consider that as another way to try to get you into the Patreon sphere if you are wanting to get ad-free content. Again, patreon.com/WWE podcast. All right. Well, let's get to the emails. And like I said, pretty few and far between this week. We have, let's see here, DJ Kuzmo. He said, I still can't get this song out of my head. I still can't get this chant out of my head. It was the song and chant for AJ Styles this past Monday afternoon from Lyon, France. It's such a different vibe when WWE does PLEs and weekly shows like Raw or SmackDown in other countries, like France, Ireland, and Germany, just to name a few. If the rumors are true, most likely France might be hosting a major PLE in 2027. However, the sacrifice for most of us in the US who are planning to watch the event live will be based on how early the event will air. For instance, there are some reports online that mention that Monday Night Raw of October 13th, which is the Raw after Crown Jewel in Perth. There you go. There's that. There's the PLE in Perth, Australia. Will be airing live on Netflix at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you live in the West Coast, it will be airing at 5 a.m. Though, I have to say, DJ, I actually don't mind the early times. Because for me, again, this is just a me thing, not everybody else. Everyone has their own lives and schedule and everything. But for me, it doesn't matter what time the event is. I even if it's at night, I'm so exhausted by the time that the show starts. I barely have time to watch it. I fall asleep. I try to stay up. If something big happens, I force myself to the computer to talk. But if it's early, then it gives me time throughout the day to actually absorb it and be able to give you guys a response at night. So selfishly, I think the earlier shows are better for content creators anyway. But of course, it's personal preference. And we've also been spoiled in the US pretty much since pro wrestling's inception, especially WWE's globalization strategy, which started many decades ago and has really ramped up since TKO took over. We have been spoiled of every PLE seemingly being in the US. We're used to US start times of 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and everybody else overseas is like, it's midnight by the time this stuff starts. So, yeah, we're spoiled. Just want to mention two quick things. The Street Profits, during their tag team title match with the Wyatt Six at Clash in Paris, there were instances of disagreement between Montez and Dawkins. Was this possibly the final PLE that the Street Profits would work together as a tag team? Because in my opinion, it's time for this tag team to split up. I've been saying this for a few years on the Mailbag that Montez needs to have a singles run. This guy has so much potential. He has the it factor. At this point, I don't care how the Street Profits split. I just need this for it to happen as soon as possible because there's nothing left for them to do. They've already won multiple tag team titles and have been together as a tag team since they were in NXT. The time is now, pun intended, I guess, right, DJ? And hopefully Creative brings it up for the Street Profits to go their separate ways on this episode of SmackDown in Chicago. Well, DJ, certainly no bigger place to do it. One of the biggest places to do a big turn or big split or big angle is in Chicago, a very vocal crowd. And the Street Profits, I mean, we have been saying this, you've been saying this for years. The Street Profits, getting just a different flavor, a different taste. We thought we'd get a different version of them with the Pride. Remember that? And they kind of turned heel, but then they went back, and then they went back, and then Bobby Lashley split. But Montez, we've been saying that and seeing that. Everyone can see it. It's no secret that Montez Ford is the star of that team and continues to be. He could absolutely be a big single star. He's ready. He's been more than ready. The fans have been ready. I don't need them to have a match. In other words, I don't need Montez to turn heel or Angelo Dawkins to turn heel. I just need them, as you said, to just split up. I don't care if we just pretend they were never a team and Montez comes out of nowhere tonight and start a singles career and pretend that the Street Profits never existed. I don't care how sloppily this is done. It just needs to happen. Because Montez being, dare I say, capped or suppressed in a tag team is not the best way to utilize his skills and what he's capable of. I would say the same thing for Xavier Woods, who I've been touting for years as well. As much as I despise his New Day gimmick, and I've been a little bit vocal about that on the show, he is one that has shown that when he's doing his singles thing, when Big E and Kofi were injured or whatever, he has always shined in a singles role. Montez Ford is in that same category of singles run will maximize his ability and his potential. And yeah, there's nothing left for the Street Profits to do. How many years have they been together? I'd love to know. I mean, I'm too lazy to Google it right now. It's got to be like 6 years they've been a tag team. So I understand that the WWE tag team division is thin all the time, but it's right now not even worth keeping them as a tag team, especially given they don't have any mic time. There's no character development. They're just kind of the same old. They've taken away the solo cups and matured a little bit, but it's about Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. And hey, maybe Angelo Dawkins surprises us. I know we're all sleeping on Angelo Dawkins because Montez is such the outward obvious star coming out of this tag team. Perhaps, what about Angelo Dawkins? We're all forgetting that he's the other half of this team. What if he ends up being an enormously successful heel? You don't know. So, really, for both men, not just Montez, I think it's worth trying out. Okay, number 2. Mello, Don't Miz. Nice. I'm really enjoying this new team called Mello, Don't Miz. For the main purpose of helping Carmelo get over with the crowd. In my opinion, they should have won the number 1 contendership match to face the Wyatt Six at Clash in Paris, but maybe they'll get a title shot rather sooner than later. Anyway, I like the pairing of Miz and Mello, establishing a young star with much established veteran. That is one of the formulas in any wrestling promotion to get a younger talent over. However, my only exception is Jade Cargill, who still needs character development and some sort of identity, but that's a rant for another day. DJ signing off. Well, DJ, I mean, just listen. You don't need to tell me as far as Jade goes, but with Mello and Miz, this team, yeah, it's not always a formula that works every time, but it's one that that works more often than it does not work. And having Mello get a rub off of the Miz and have a place to land is what he needs. He's been scattershot. He hasn't found a place to take a foothold and have a story. He's been kind of, he's bordering a heel. Is he a babyface? We don't know. And now he's with the Miz in a quote unquote heel team, but he's the babyface in a heel team that we all know is going to eventually turn on the Miz or vice versa. They'll have a match and the Miz will lose and, Mello will go on to being a single star. So this is a nice place for him to be solidly introduced rather than just kind of scattershot introduced. And as long as this team wants to survive, I'm good with it because the chemistry between them is fun. The build to the eventual blow up or explosion of this team is fun. And it's going to help him, again, not make him a bona fide star. I don't think The Miz has that ability. I mean, The Miz is not that big of a star, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why so many people feel The Miz, including a lot of grizzled vets in the business like The Undertaker and others that feel The Miz is so underrated and one of the best the company has. I don't know why they say that. I have nothing against The Miz on a personal level, but for me, The Miz is just a great kind of a jack of all trades talent that you can have as a babyface. He's done it. He can be very successful in that, but the most of his career, he's been a heel, and he's a great jack of all trades in not just that dynamic of being either a good or bad guy, but rather helping celebrities come in, he'll take the bump and be the fool for the celebrity. He'll help new talent come in. He's the gatekeeper that can work with anybody. He's kind of like a Dolph Ziggler in that way. Not as talented in the ring, but he's that kind of guy that fulfills that role well. But he's not that big of a star. He's not a household name. He's not a household name as much as he might want to believe that, or as much as the veterans in WWE believe he's the most underrated. I don't see it. I don't see that. I mean, I think we've seen the most the Miz can offer, and it's fine. It's worthy of borderline Hall of Fame, but it's not. He's not a legend. He's not on anybody's Mount Rushmore. I don't think he's underutilized or underrated. He is what he is. We've seen everything I think he can give. But as far as Jade Cargill goes with her character development, what more does anyone want me to say? She has an identity crisis. And it's not one that is a matter of, it's not a misidentification. It's just lack of identification. We have no idea who she is. We don't know, other than her outward appearance, other than, look at me. My gosh, look at my muscles. My gosh, look at my makeup. My gosh, look at my new hair, my new wig, or my new whatever, my new weave, whatever she puts in her hair. And look, she's an attractive woman, no doubt. Absolutely, she is. But it's so superficial with Jade. Everything about Jade is superficial, other than, okay, she's strong in the ring. Okay, great. What do you have to offer from an emotional perspective, an emotional attachment? The answer so far is nothing. That is why she's getting an underappreciated reaction, at least probably from her perspective and others in the company. I know a lot of racist claims are coming out, which is of course ridiculous. It's on so many levels. The racial claims are ridiculous, but Jade is simply has an identity crisis where fans don't know who she is, so they just go. So the flash of her outward appearance, and as impressive as it is, wears off and it's worn off, and fans are like, okay, but like, who are you? Yeah, cool, impressive, but who are you? And why should I care if you win or lose? The basic questions have not been answered for Jade. And if they're not answered for her, the fans are going to continue to feel disconnected and uninvested. That's where she is, and that's the problem. It's actually not complicated. Despite what Jade probably feels in real life, what she deserves from the crowd, and that she should be cheered and revered, and she should be getting a deafening reaction every night, which I'm sure she actually believes. If she does believe that, she has no basic reality. She doesn't have any basic concept based in reality about what makes a pro wrestling star successful. And she's too focused on her next Instagram picture or how she smells. Think I'm kidding? Go look at her Instagram feed or any social media feed that she's on for that matter. So I continue to wish her well, and I want to see her succeed because I can see what they see. But right now it's just potential, unrealized potential for Jade. But thank you so much, DJ. Now, I'll get to your voicemail in a moment, your Joe Hendry report in a moment. But let's continue here. I'm just going to go into some news, a little bit into the news, because of we don't have many emails at all today. So we have, according to Wrestling Inc., backstage report about John Cena's last WWE match. So this is according to Wrestling Inc. that says, quote, according to an announcement made by WrestleVotes, the Never Seen 17 will wrestle his last match at Saturday night's main event on Saturday, December 13th from the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Confirmation on who his last challenger will be remains undetermined at this time. The event will broadcast live on Peacock, which will remain the home for future Saturday night main event programming, even after the ESPN, okay, blah, blah, blah. After tonight's appearance, the Hustle, Loyalty, Respect workhorse will return to what appears to be his last visit on the Red Brand in his home state of Massachusetts on Monday, September 15th. From there, John Cena is subject to appear at 3 more PLEs before wrapping up his farewell tour with his first stop at WrestlePalooza on September 20th, with speculation that he'll be taking on Brock Lesnar, then Crown Jewel on Saturday, October 11th, and Survivor Series on Saturday, November 29th, before his last match in December. So there you go. That's kind of looking at the home stretch here of John Cena's career. Crazy that this is the last time we'll see John Cena compete. It will not be the last time you see him on a WWE television, despite what he says. It is his last match. It may even be his final physical appearance in the ring, meaning he may not even do what The Rock and Austin and Taker and all the other legends that have retired since have done, meaning they come back and hit their finishing move and make the crowd happy at WrestleMania and leave. Maybe John Cena won't even do that, but it's not the last time we've seen John Cena in a WWE ring. I mean, when he is brought into the Hall of Fame, which is certainly going to happen, there's not even a question, then he'll be brought out on stage. Maybe he'll even come out and do his little, dance into the ring and sprint into the ring. Sure. So this is not the last time we're going to see John Cena ever on WWE television. I don't care what he says. It's not. It's not. I don't believe him if he's trying to sell that. I believe him when he says it's his final match and maybe even the last time he's physical at all in a ring ever. I'll even go that far, but it's not the last time we've seen him in a ring. But now we know kind of the setup here for the end of John Cena. As I've said many times on the show, I hope that it's Adam Copeland, Edge, that is somehow able, contractually and physically able, big ifs there, to be able to be John Cena's final opponent. There is nobody more appropriate. Of course, there is one that's even more appropriate, but it's certainly not going to happen, and that's Kurt Angle. We're about 10 years late on that even being a reality. Kurt Angle would be so apropos when it comes to John Cena's last opponent, given he was his first on WWE television. That would be just so poetic, but that's not in the cards at all. They may bring Kurt Angle out, and maybe they do, to say goodbye to John Cena. That would be kind of cool after whoever he faces is the match is over. So having him just be there physically with John Cena would be kind of cool from that perspective of, him debuting in 2002, the ruthless aggression statement, the infamous, slap and all that. They could do that. But I hope it's Edge somehow, some way. I know a lot of people, it can't happen, but maybe, maybe somehow, that would be what I would do. All right. So what else here is going on in the news? Some other news. This is going to be rapid fire news today, guys. I mean, there's just so much going on, and especially after tonight with the huge SmackDown coming to us from Chicago. And that kind of leads me to my next story before we actually get an email while we were talking about John Cena, but we're going to get to that other email in a minute. The next news story is about Brock Lesnar. Fightful reports that Lesnar is slated to travel to Chicago this week, and sources within WWE indicated that Lesnar was brought up in internal discussions about the lineup for the respective show, meaning it's possible of an appearance. It's possible, right? It's on the table. Last week, SmackDown GM Nick Aldis began telling Cena that he heard from Lesnar, but before Aldis could elaborate, Cena was knocked down. So it appears that he's on track for a singles match against John Cena at WrestlePalooza on September 20th. And en route to it, Lesnar is advertised for the September 12th and 19th episode of SmackDown that are going to emanate from Norfolk, Virginia and Toledo, Ohio. And yeah, so Brock Lesnar scheduled to appear over the next two SmackDowns. Is he going to appear tonight, though, is the question. That's going to be one that, honestly, is it needed? No, because of the AJ Lee return. But again, it's Chicago, one of the biggest wrestling cities in the world. So I think that you can't go wrong, certainly. But it does remain to be seen if they're actually going to pull the trigger. If Brock Lesnar is there, I'm sure the crowd will still explode, despite all of the mob phantom outrage out there about WWE hating women and all the rest of it with Brock Lesnar and the backlash that ensued. Brock Lesnar's a ratings draw. It'll cancel out anybody that decides to actually move away from WWE. All their faux outrage will go away and be completely overshadowed and washed away by the just love that people have for Brock Lesnar, the wrestler, not his actions or alleged actions, but rather just Brock Lesnar, the wrestler. And that's likely to happen here, as Brock Lesnar does play the heel role, and that's a smart move by WWE, no doubt about it. I still don't like the Brock Lesnar cowboy hat and long hair. I have to say, I like the tracksuit shortcut like Marine boot camp look. That's been my jam for him, but we'll see if we'll see. It looks like the hair is going to stick around for Brock Lesnar for a while. Personal preference. All right, let's get to Kay from Toronto. So how you doing, Kay? He says, hope I get it on time. And you just did. Yeah, you literally just made the cut. But for SmackDown, you say that Cena and Paul had a great segment. I like a bit of an edge on JC, John Cena. The whole Chelsea Green and Secret Service is great. I like all the angles, and it's entertaining with the Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss tag team matchup as well. Sammy deserves the title. He's such a pro. Damian and Black is going to be good, and you might see a heel team down the road. Yeah, that's actually, I didn't think about that. Damian Priest and Aleister Black. That's a team that, it's very possible. While they're enemies right now, hey, it's very possible these two end up kind of merging as one. They have similar looks and similar gimmicks. Not exact. Aleister Black's a little darker. The Black Mass kick is just insanely devastating. That's one finish. Out of every finish in WWE, that's probably one finish I would not want to take. I'd take a pile driver before I would take the Black Mass kick. I mean, it's you talk about a teeth-shattering maneuver that is nearly impossible to make look good, and also at the same time not break your opponent's jaw or teeth. It is, I mean, just hats off to him for not doing that on a weekly basis. For Clash, Reed and Breaker are quickly becoming my favorites. A mechanical duo. What they did to Roman and Jay was so good. Roman's attack on Heyman was predictable. Maybe Paul wanted a break. Glad the Wyatts won, but wasn't that interested. Nikki versus Becky. Why? No need. Waste of a PLE in my humble opinion. Rusev versus Sheamus. Bunch of question marks. Cena versus Paul. Very good wrestling match. Actually impressed by Logan in the ring, but I still can't stand him. Well, I would say to that, I mean, that's the point. Logan Paul, you're not supposed to like him. But at the same time, you begrudgingly respect what he can do. That's a great place for a heel to be. That's an incredible place for a heel to be, because it forces you to deal with the truth. And people hate truth when it doesn't align with what they want the truth to be. And when you have somebody that is genuinely unlikable on a lot of levels, real levels, but at the same time, he's undeniably incredible in the ring, then that's a great place for a heel to be, because he can brag and it's true, but also you can hate him. Not too many heels are in that sweet spot. 6-man tag, really like this, but is LA Knight going to be a title jobber? Looks like it. Jay and the Yeet nonsense is tedious at best. Never liked Punk ever, but the architect Seth Rollins and the way he retained with the ending was gold. They had me fooled, but I knew something would happen. So do I think LA Knight's just going to be a title jobber? I mean, by that you mean he's going to end up being in the title picture but never actually winning it. Well, right now that's kind of in the place he's at. But that's not a bad place to be. Even if LA Knight never wins the world title, which I think at some point he will, can you say that multi-time main eventing PLEs is a bad thing? A lot of guys don't get there. A lot of guys don't even get a sniff. Unfortunately for LA Knight, he hasn't been able to time things right. He's never been able to time it right where you can make a case that it's time for LA Knight to win the belt. It's always about somebody else, or somebody just won it, so you know they're not going to drop it. LA Knight hasn't been able to align the stars yet where it feels like it's finally time for LA Knight to win, and it's been a long-standing heel champion, and LA Knight's still the hot hand. Let's see where it goes. LA Knight hasn't been there yet. But the Yeet nonsense, am I tired of it? I mean, it's catchy, but it is a bit tired. All right, Raw. Actually missed it. I forgot the time difference. Some good, some bad. Overall, and somewhat zero interest for me. Thank you for all your hard work. Go, Jays, go. Yeah, big. Hey, Kay from Toronto. Big series starting tonight for first place in the Easter for the East AL East. Jeez, I get that out. American League East. Yankees 3 games back in the loss column. If we win all 3, we're tied for first. I don't think it'll happen. I still think, here's my prediction for those of you that even give a damn about baseball, which a lot of you don't. But for those that do, I think the Yankees will lose 2 out of 3 this weekend, and the Jays will go up, what would that be, 4 games? You guys will go up 4 games, which still won't put the AL East out of contention for us, but it'll be a lot harder to get. Now, if we take 2 out of 3, and we're up by 2, we're down only by 2, then yeah, I mean, much more feasible. If we sweep it's anybody's game. If we get swept, the division's over. That's how important this series is for the Yankees winning the division. I think they've locked up a wild card spot. Now it's just a matter of placing in the wild card. Are they going to finish first, second, third? Obviously, you want to get the first wild card, so you get home field advantage, and it's a 3-game set now instead of just a one play and you're done, which I think it's just a much better scenario than the 1-game playoff in the wild card, which is just absurd. So we have a lot of fun coming up our way. And the Blue Jays are a legitimate team. I'm not going to pretend that they're not. I'm a Yankees fan, but the Blue Jays are a legitimately good baseball team, and I think they're going to beat the Yankees 2 out of 3. Despite what I want, I think I'm a realist. That's probably what's going to happen. The Yankees will maybe take tonight, lose tomorrow night, lose Sunday night, and then be back by 4 games. Which, honestly, if I was to sign up for that, I'd sign up for that over a sweep, obviously. But, yeah, we'll see. All right, there's your MLB breakdown for those that care, which is not many. All right. Thank you. Now let's get to the one voicemail, Mr. DJ Kuzmo, with our weekly update on Joe Hendry and all the goings on. Let's get to him and then wrap up the show.
This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag show. Records you live on a Wednesday morning, and you know what time it is. It's time to
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's right, folks. Joe Hendry is his name as I take it to my 16th episode of the George Report. And like always, coming to you live from an undisclosed location. Since Joe Hendry did not make an appearance on the previous episode of TNA Pro Wrestling, he was part of WWE's Road to Clash in Paris UK tour. I'm going to quickly mention the 3 dates that he made an appearance in the UK as he had a series of matches against The Miz. Obviously, last week Tuesday, when he became the mystery opponent to answer The Miz's open challenge, that was at Manchester, England on August 26, where he got a huge pop from the crowd because a lot of people didn't realize that, wait a minute, Joe Hendry was the mystery guy, and he defeated The Miz on August 26. Then they continued their series of matches on August 27th on a Wednesday. This was in Leeds, West Yorkshire in England, as Joe Hendry defeated The Miz. Then to conclude their series of matches, last week Thursday on August 28 in Cardiff, Wales, Joe Hendry once again defeated The Miz. It seems like this is Joe Hendry's, I guess you could say, pattern into WWE as he's working against guys like The Miz. Now the question is, will he eventually probably make a debut on SmackDown to maybe have a match against The Miz, even though The Miz is part of a tag team called Mellow Miz? That would be really cool to see Joe Hendry on the main roster, maybe at some point in September. But anyway, getting back to Joe Hendry, I want to see a storyline developing for Joe Hendry on NXT. It does not have to be centered around a championship, whether it's a personal feud, because I want to see Joe Hendry start to get his footing in WWE, and most likely he will have a couple of matches on NXT. But with that being said, always keep in mind that if you just say his name, he might just randomly appear. And he appeared last night on NXT, but before that very episode of NXT, Joe Hendry put out a quick video on Instagram with the caption that read, "If this video gets 10K likes, he will appear." However, before the show got started, that same video got over 13K likes, and he had to keep his word. And now this is where he makes an appearance. We fast forward to the main event, which was an 8-man tag team match of Obafemi, who is the NXT champion, alongside Ricky Saints and Hank Tank, as they faced all 4 members of Dark State: Coulter James, Dion Lennox, and Osiris Griffin, alongside Saquon Sugars. This match lasted exactly 12 minutes. However, towards the tail end of the match, we see Obafemi and Ricky Saints begin to brawl at ringside, which then led into the backstage area, giving the match a 4-on-2 advantage for Dark State, leaving Hank and Tank to kind of finish off the match all by themselves. However, the secret weapon that was teased before this match would finally make an appearance. As we fast forward towards the end of this match, after when Coulter James of Dark State placed his right hand to choke out Hank, Coulter says to Hank, "No one's saving you now." Then out of desperation, Hank said the name of the secret weapon. Hank said his name, Joe Hendry. Hendry's music begins to play, but Joe Hendry does not appear at the entrance ramp. he randomly appeared at the ringside apron. Cutler was about to attack Joe Hendry, but Hendry quickly jumps off the ringside apron. Cutler then gets picked up by Hank as Hank and Tank deliver a shoulder block power slam, and 1, 2, 3. In this 8-man tag team match, the tag team of Obafemi, Ricky Saints, and Hank and Tank get the victory over Dark State. But the question always remains, what will happen if you just say his name? What random place will Joe Hendry next appear? Always remember to believe, say his name. Always remember the words that Joe Hendry says anytime, any place, at any show. And most importantly, always remember to do this.
Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is so prestigious.
Once again, this is your guy, DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Be kind to one another. Stay safe, my friends. Believe and peace.
Thank you, DJ. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening
Nice
to the
breakdown there, what's going on
WWE
in TNA
podcast.
and,
Don't
the
forget
setup
to
that
subscribe
WWE
on your
is
favorite
creating right now
podcast
for
app
Foundation being laid
so
for-
you don't miss a
for
show,
LA, not
or
for
head
LA,
to
for Joe
www.podcast.com.
to
And
come
for
to
all of
WWE
these
on a
shows
much more
ad-free,
permanent
head
basis
over
on
to
the mainstream television,
patreon.com/WWE
on the product roster.
podcast. Until then,
I'm excited for it.
We'll see you
I know what he's done in
next
TNA
time.
has been a lot of fun, and those that have been following TNA or maybe have been viewing TNA for the first time because Joe Hendry's there, or other stars that used to be in WWE are there, and it's much appreciated, DJ. I hope that you've been following and enjoying as much as we have, not just with your reports, but with Joe Hendry's career itself. And I will say, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when Joe Hendry appears on the main roster? Are you going to continue with the Joe Hendry report? If not, you'll have to find a new star or stars to do your weekly report about. So, will your reports end once the Joe Hendry debut is official on the main roster and he continues to be there on a weekly basis on Raw or SmackDown? So, just some food for thought there as we get closer and closer to an inevitable debut by Joe Hendry. So, thank you, DJ. Hope you enjoy your weekend. A couple weeks till WrestlePalooza. I don't know anyone that's attending. I have to say, I don't know if anybody is attending. Let me know. We can get your thoughts directly on air if anybody is, or if you're going to Chicago as well. Very interested to hear your thoughts on the Chicago SmackDown that is slated to be massive tonight. With AJ Lee, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, all very likely, and maybe more beyond that. Maybe Randy Orton. I mean, this could be a star-studded SmackDown, huge as we know, and at minimum AJ Lee and John, but Brock probably likely, but not guaranteed. All right, well, that'll do it for me. A little bit of an abbreviated version of the mailbag as we close out the week here. I'll be doing a little more video, posting it on TikTok, posting it on YouTube, and maybe more video to come as well, and doing a live show on Sunday for the Weekend Review. So join me on Sunday. It'll be probably around anywhere between 7:30 and 9 start time. Stay tuned to Patreon. It'll be a live video feed of my week in review on Patreon. So that's exclusive for patrons. You can't be a free member on Patreon. You got to be a behind the paywall to be able to actually view it. If you are interested in doing that, you can head over to patreon.com/WWE podcast. And for the next few days, as I mentioned, you can get 25% off that first month or an entire year of the show ad-free by using the code AJ Lee, all one word, not spaced, AJLEE at checkout. You get 25% off and you can enjoy everything that you hear right now ad-free with none of the interruptions. So pretty nice, huh? All right, well, that will do it for me here on the show, on the Mailbag abbreviated show, but certainly much more to talk about as the Chicago SmackDown comes to us in just a couple of hours as I record this. So I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. Enjoy the show, guys. Follow me on X if you want to hear my thoughts and see them a little bit more in real time. Wrestling_audio on X. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy. We'll be back in a few days. Take care.